Okay. Hey guys, welcome to my Beanie Games. I'm going to talk about F1 Manager 22. I'm not feeling 100%, so I'm going to be pretty terrible, and I'm also out of breath, so that's just the way it is at the moment. So, F1 Manager 22, I've enjoyed playing it a lot. I've got it on Xbox Series S, and it glitches out a lot. Well, not a lot, but a bit. I've had glitches where the car has been scheduled to do a certain number of laps in practice, or um, or I ask the car to come in and then it just doesn't, and so then I have to cancel it and bring it back in. And one time I had the car just stop because I ran out of fuel, and that means I didn't get to finish the session. So that was annoying, and that was out of my control. It just didn't want to do it. I've also had glitches on Xbox where the game will just stop and minimize and back to the Xbox menu, and then when you click back in, it goes back to the last save state. So half the time you lose what you had, and it goes back to the last save state, and the other half of the time it goes back to where you were. So it's really annoying. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. If you're having a bad race, then you get another chance at it. It happened at Monaco once, and I'm like, oh good, I'll just change the strategy because that wasn't working, and I got a better result out of it. But stuff like that happens. So can I flip this around? Okay, so yeah, I'm playing as Aston Martin. I actually learned a few issues. I don't know if it's gonna. Sorry about everything. Alright, so I need to go to. You can see it's 22nd, of June 2026. Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll, Oliver Behrman are my drivers. I got them all signed on for long year contracts. Got everything like that worked out. The problem is, I didn't realise that some of the technical people, so I got a new head of aero, Aaron Melvin, who I poked from Williams, and then I've got Andrew Green, who I'm thinking of getting rid of because he's level 73, and everybody else is in their level 80s. And so I think that's been an issue. But the real issue, if I look at the car, is actually the car performance. And again, sorry that you can't really see, and I've got early onset Alzheimer's or something. Shaky hands. My suspension, because I didn't upgrade it because everyone just says, oh, just do underfloor and just do this and that. So you can see my car is actually way off in terms of performance. And that's because I haven't upgraded this particular, I haven't put a new suspension component in for 4 seasons. So if I go and look at, I think the other one was, front wing is probably just off. I've never done side pods, so side pods are a fair bit off as well. So the real thing that I should have been doing is upgrading those components, not worrying about the front wing, rear wing, underfloor, because rear wing and underfloor are actually competitive. I think chassis. I put a new chassis in, so chassis is actually good. Front wing I think is a bit off, but it isn't the main issue. The main issue is the side pods and the freaking other stuff. So that's a mistake that I've made in the game, and I didn't realise it because people just said, oh, just do front wing, rear wing and underfloor, and that's the only thing you have to upgrade. What they didn't explain is that they spent a whole season just doing that, but they're not as far into the game as I am, so they haven't fallen as far back as I have. Because if you just keep on upgrading those 3 parts, you do have a half decent car, and my drivers are good because they're such high level. And so you just end up with a half decent car that you can drag a result out of, but for the most part it qualifies poorly and you have to race your way forward with good strategy. But if you just can't get that result to happen because the upgrading system is because my approach to upgrades has been wrong. So, but apart from that, I really love the game. It's a bit, I spoke about the glitches. There's the main ones that I have an issue with. There's also a weird one. I go to, I think, do I have anyone that needs development points? Sometimes you get out of a race weekend and then you've got development points, even though you didn't get them from the race weekend and you'd already assigned them development points from the previous one. So they just appeared. And that might have been through they accrued enough development points or enough experience for a development point through facilities and stuff like that, all your little bonuses that you get. So that's just annoying. But I actually had the game glitch out on me. I had finally put my new suspension component in, where you can see it. The game minimized and then I went back in and I lost I was thinking I was halfway through the French Grand Prix or halfway through the Hungarian Grand Prix, just the first race that I had the new suspension components. And suddenly the car was a lot better and we qualified better and we raced better, and even though it wasn't anywhere near as good as the rest of the field suspension, it's made the car a whole lot better. But now I'm all the way back to the British Grand Prix, which I don't remember being a particularly good race. The bad one was the French Grand Prix, where I might as well have just sped through the whole thing. And I probably will, because I don't want to go through the freaking British Grand Prix again. But I don't know if anyone else has been playing the Xbox version, but it really isn't as clear cut as the PC version. I think a lot of people have been having, because I originally bought the PC version, but it did not work at all on my computer. I couldn't actually get the thing to launch. It wouldn't launch. So I got my money back and bought an Xbox and bought the game, and it instantly worked. And I thought, well, fuck PC, it's a pile of crap half the time anyway, and it never works because I don't have an updated PC. I don't have the latest and greatest PC, so I bought the latest Xbox and bought the game. But yeah, that's just been my experience of the game. I'm looking forward to playing it a lot more, and I'm looking forward to making progress now that I know actually how to play it and keep your components closer in comparison to the rest of the field, which I wasn't doing, as I said. But I am looking forward to doing well, and looking forward to one day seeing Sebastian Vettel retiring and I get to put Ollie Bearman in the car. I'm waiting for the car to actually be competitive before I bother putting Ollie in practice sessions and losing acclimatization with Seb. So, because that's what happens. I have done seasons where you start off with a car that isn't very good, and then you put your young driver in, and he builds up experience really quickly because he has high aggression and high growth potential. But yeah, I might just speed my way through the French Grand Prix and British Grand Prix just to get the suspension component on. But hard to say. Anyway, let me know what you think. I know it's not a gameplay video or whatever, but I'm just not in a position to be doing that at the moment. But I have been playing F1 Manager and F1 Clash, so I'm going to do a video about F1 Clash as well.